welcome to this tutorial to accompany week 3 of my Picnic on the Beach blanket. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and all the details about this blanket can be found over on my website. The links are in the description below. So this tutorial is for the Cupcake Rose, and it's these rows that you see in yellow here, topped by the red cherry baubles. We had to have cupcakes in our picnic, and I really love the way the raised stitches really give this cupcake texture. So this tutorial is not to replace the written pattern. It's always good to have the pattern with you as we work through these tutorials. And I use UK crochet terminology, but I do translate to US as we go along. So I'll show you how to get started. So these Cupcake rows start on row 11 of week 3. We've done these textured stitches already, and then rows 9 and 10 were ordinary treble US double crochet stitches in yarn B, and we should have joined with yarn E, which is my yellow, at the end of row 10. Ready to move on to row 11. And looking at the pattern, we should have the right side of the work facing, and we make 2 chain, which counts as the first half treble US half double crochet stitch of this row. And now we simply do 1 raised treble back, that's your back post double crochet in the US, around each of the next 10 stitches. So just an ordinary treble, but we're going around the post of the stitch from back to front, around to the back again. We've done plenty of these raised stitches now throughout week 3, and we just do 10 of those. Here's number 9, and then here's 10. So there we go, we've done 1 raised treble back, back post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches. And now we're at our first cupcake, and if you look at the pattern, it tells us to do 3 raised treble front, that's your front post double crochet around each of the next 3 stitches. So it's 3 around each of the next 3 stitches. So here's the next stitch, just work your raised treble front, it's your front post double crochet around that stitch, but we're doing 3 of them. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So we've done 3 raised treble front post double crochet around the first stitch, and we need to do 3 around the next 2 as well. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 around this one here as well. 1, 2, and here's 3. So what we've done there is we've done 3 raised treble front post double crochet, 3 around each of the next 3 stitches. So we're getting the base of our cupcake texture there. And so now it's 1 raised treble back around each of the next 6 stitches. So that's your back post double crochet in the US, 1 around each of the next 6 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there we go, that's what it's looking like now. And we're now at our next set of raised stitches. Looking at the pattern, you've got some work in brackets, and everything we're doing in the brackets 11 times. So we go back to the beginning of those brackets, and we're at the point where it says 3 raised treble front, that's 3 front post double crochet around each of the next 3 stitches. So it's 3 raised stitches around each of the next 3. So that's the first stitch we've gone around. This is the second stitch we're going around with 3. And then one more stitch to go around with 3. There we go. 1, 2, and that's 3. And there we go. We've got our next set of raised stitches. So now it's 1 raised treble back around each of the next 6 stitches, and then we'll have another group of raised stitches. So repeat what we've done here 11 times in total to the end of the side. So I've just done my final repeat of the 3 raised treble front, the 3 front post double crochet around each of these 3 stitches, and now I'm nearly at the end of the side, and looking at the pattern, it's now 1 raised treble back, that's your back post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches, and that will bring us to the very final stitch of the row, which is the 3 chain we made at the start of the previous row. So that's 9, and this one here is number 10, and then it's 1 half treble US half double crochet into the very final stitch, which is the top of this 3 chain that we made at the start of the previous row. So insert your hook under the 2 strands to the top of that 3 chain and work a half treble US half double crochet. And that's the end of row 11. We've got the bases of the cupcakes evenly spread across the row. And so we turn the work, ready to move on to row 12. And so with row 12 we have the wrong side of the blanket facing us, and we begin by making 2 chain, counts as the first half treble US half double crochet stitch. And it's now 1 raised treble front, that's your front post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches, that's these 10 stitches here, and we just work 1 raised treble front post double crochet around each of these stitches. This is 9, and here this one's 10. And so there you can see I've worked 1 raised treble front post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches. And so now we're at our raised cupcake stitches, and remember here we did 3 stitches around each of these 3 stitches, so there's 9 stitches here in total. Don't be afraid to pull apart your work a little bit so you can see the individual stitches. You can see there are 3 there, and there are 3 there, and there are 3 there. And what we're going to be doing is working 1 raised treble back, that's your back post double crochet around each of these 9 stitches. So it's these 9 stitches, which were these raised stitches from the previous row. We're working 1 raised treble back post double crochet around each of these 9 stitches. Because they're bunched together, can be a little bit difficult to see. Like I said, don't be afraid to pull your work apart so you can really see the individual posts. That's 1. Here's the next one. That's 2. And this one here is 3. And then we're on to the next set of 3. So here we go. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. And there's the final set there. That's 1. That's 2. And here's the last one. That's 3. So we've done 1 raised treble back post double crochet around each of these 9 stitches, And if you look to the front, you can really see the cupcake forming now, continuing that raised texture at the front. And so that's what this row is. It's just one raised treble front now around each of the next 6 stitches. So that's these 6 stitches between the raised ones. And then when we get to the next cupcake, it's one raised treble back post double crochet around each of those 9 stitches. And repeat this all the way to the end of the side. So I've just done my final repeat. I've done my raised treble back post double crochet around those 9 stitches, and now to finish the row we've got one raised treble front. That's your front post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches, and then we'll be at the final stitch. 2, 9, and this one is 10. And then we finish the row with one half treble US half double crochet into the top of the 2 chain that we made at the start of row 11. There we go, and work your half treble US half double crochet. And that's the end of row 12. That's what it's looking like at the back. We turn the work, and this is what it's looking like from the front of the work. You can see these lovely cupcakes beginning to form with those raised textured stitches. And so now we move on to row 13. So we begin row 13 with 2 chain, and that counts as our first half treble US half double crochet stitch of this row. And now it's simply one raised treble back, that's your back post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, that's 9, 1 more, and that's 10. And so now we're at the group of raised stitches, the 9 stitches that we have created and gone around. And so looking at the pattern, it now tells us to do raised treble back 3 together, 3 times over the next 9 stitches. And that's your back post double crochet, but we're doing 3 stitches together into one. So we're going to crochet these 3 together, these 3 together, and these 3 together, so we end up with 3 stitches, and we're bringing our work inwards. So I'll show you what that means. So it's raised treble back post double crochet, 3 stitches together. So just yarn over hook as if you're going to do your ordinary treble US double crochet, and insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, around the first stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop there. And that repeat that in the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop there. 1 more, yarn over hook, insert hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull the loop through, yarn over hook, and pull through 2. And you should now have 4 loops on the hook. And now we are going to do yarn over hook and pull through all the loops on the hook, and we've crocheted these 3 raised stitches together into one. And we're going to be doing that 3 times in total over these 9 stitches. We've done it once, and so now we're going to repeat that on these middle set of 3. So yarn over hook, insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull the loop through, yarn over hook, and pull through 2. Repeat that 2 more times. Yarn over hook, insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull the loop through, yarn over hook, and pull through 2. 1 more, yarn over hook, insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull the loop through, yarn over hook, and pull through 2. Have your 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. And now with this middle set of 3, we've now crocheted them together into one. One more, so yarn over hook, insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull through to the front, yarn over hook, pull through 2, yarn over hook, insert your hook from back to front round the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, one more raised treble back there to do, insert your hook from back to front, round to the back again, yarn over hook, pull the loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over hook, and pull through all the loops on the hook. And so there, what we've done is we've done raised treble back or back post double crochet 3 together across each 3 times across these 9 stitches. So what we've actually done now is made these 9 stitches into 3. So 1, 2, 3. And now looking at the pattern, it's now 1 raised treble back around each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, and this is 6. And now we're at the next set of raised stitches, and we do exactly what we did here, the raised treble back, back post double crochet 3 stitches together over these 9 stitches. So repeat exactly what we've done here, and continue to the end of the side. So I've just done my final set of raised treble back, back post double crochet 3 stitches together over these 9 stitches here. We're now at the end of the side nearly, and it's now just 1 raised treble back, that's your back post double crochet around each of the next 10 stitches. This is 9, and here's 10. And in the very final stitch of the row is 1 half treble US half double crochet in the top of the 2 chain made at the start of the previous row. And there we go. And this time we fasten off. So fasten off yarn E, the yellow yarn. We don't turn the work, and I'll show you what to do. So there we go. I fastened off, and now we do not turn the work. So we've just completed row 13 with the right side facing. We've got these gorgeous cupcake shapes, and now we don't turn the work. We go all the way back to the beginning of row 13. And so here we are looking at the very beginning of row 13, and we haven't turned the work, and row 14 we're going to join yarn A to the top of the 2 chain we made at the beginning of row 13. So if you look, because we haven't turned the work, the tops of the stitches sit just to the right of the post. So if you pull the work apart a little bit, here's the post of a stitch, and the top of the stitch sits just to the right. It's that little hole. So when we're looking at the first stitches here, this little hole here, that actually belongs to the first stitch that we crocheted, and it's actually the top of the 2 chain that we want to go into. So not that little hole, that was the second stitch in, because our first 2 chain counted as the first stitch. It's the top of that 2 chain just to the right of there. There we go. Insert your hook under both strands of the top of that 2 chain, like so, and now we're joining with yarn A. So just pull yarn A through there, like so. And now we make 1 chain, and this doesn't count as a stitch on this occasion. So just make 1 chain just to get the yarn up to the right height. And looking at the pattern, it's now 1 double crochet, that's a US single crochet, into the same place at the top of the 2 chain. So just insert your hook into the same place there where we've joined our yarn, and work a double crochet, US single crochet. So a little bit tight, so just ease the hook through and work your double crochet, US single crochet. And now it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. 1, 2, 10, and here's 11. These stitches look a little bit bigger because this is where we brought the 3 stitches into one on the previous row. So looking at the pattern now, it tells us to miss the next stitch. So that's this stitch here. It's the middle one from the 3 stitches that we brought together on the previous row. Miss this stitch and instead work 1 bobble with yarn C below it in the 5th stitch along of the 9 raised stitches below in row 12. So these stitches here, there are 9 raised stitches in row 12, these ones here, and we're going to be going into the 5th stitch along of those 9 stitches. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the stitch here, and because this was made with the wrong side facing, row 12 we had the wrong side of the work facing, and now we have the right side of the work facing, the top of that stitch will sit just to the left of the post. So the place to go into, this is the 5th stitch along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the place where we want to insert our hook to is just there, the top of that stitch, just to the left of that post. So that is where we're going to be inserting our hook, but we're going to be doing a bobble in yarn C. So we need to begin by just placing yarn C, yarn over hook like so. Secure it with your finger so it stays in place. Let's locate that 5th stitch along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, and it's into the top of that stitch like so. Yarn over hook, pull through to the front, yarn over hook, pull through 2 loops, and we're going to repeat that 5 times more. Yarn over hook, insert your hook into the same place, yarn over hook, pull through to the front, yarn over hook and pull through 2. Yarn over hook, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over hook, pull through to the front, yarn over hook and pull through 2. Yarn over hook, insert your hook into the same place, yarn over hook, pull through to the front, yarn over hook and pull through 2. Got 2 more to do. That's 1, last one, yarn over hook, insert your hook into the same place, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook and pull through just the first 2 loops. And now you should have 6 of the contrasting coloured yarn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on the hook and 1 of your original. So let the contrasting coloured yarn go, get your original colour, that's yarn A, and then yarn over hook and pull through all the loops on the hook, like so. And we've made our first cherry bobble. And so now we're going to carry on, but we're going to crochet around the yarn C, the contrasting colour, so that we can then pick it up when we do our next bobble. So if you look at the pattern, it now tells us to do 1 double crochet, that's a US single crochet, in each of the next 8 stitches. Now remember, we missed this stitch here because we then crocheted into this one below it, so don't go into that one. Here is the next one to go into, and it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. If you insert your hook underneath the strand of contrasting colour, so this is the stitch we're missing, this one here, then you're going to wrap that contrasting colour around so that it carries on along invisibly behind. So that's 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's 8. And if you just give that red yarn a tug, then it just pulls it really invisibly nicely behind the work there. And so now we're in the correct place to make our next cherry bobble. But because obviously we've crocheted around the contrasting colour, it's much easier. It's there ready to crochet with. So let your main colour just go to the right like so. And now it's yarn over hook, and just like before, we are going to do one bobble with yarn C in the 5th stitch along of the 9 raised stitches below in row 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 5th stitch, and the top of that stitch is just to the left of that post. Insert your hook into that stitch as normal. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and we'll do that 6 times in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contrasting coloured loops on the hook and 1 main colour. Let the contrasting colour go, grab your main colour, yarn over hook and pull through all the loops on the hook. There we go, give it a little tug, and now just like before, it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches, making sure we miss this one here because that's the one we've missed to work the bobble below. So the next one is not this one, it's this one here. So insert your hook into the next stitch. Try and do this first stitch quite tightly to really secure the bobble in place and make sure we're crocheting around that contrasting coloured yarn. 1, 2, 7 and 8, and just like before, give that contrasting colour a little tug to really pull that yarn through. Not too tight, I don't want to bunch the work up, but just tight enough to really pull that bobble in and not have any bits showing through the back. And there we go, we repeat this all the way to the end of the row. We're now at the stage to make our next cherry bobble, but as you can see, they really are looking like some delicious cupcakes. So I've just completed my final bobble of the row, and now we're left with 12 stitches to crochet into at the end of the row. So now it's simply 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. 10, 11, and there's 12, and that's the end of row 14. We've completed our cupcakes, and the next 4 rows, rows 15, 16, 17 and 18, are simply treble US double crochet stitches, 1 stitch in each stitch along on the rows. So, and that provides a really lovely backdrop for our cupcakes. So there we go, some picnic food inspired rows, and I hope you found the tutorial helpful. Thanks for watching.